Welcome back to another Sunday prep day. If you're new here, every Sunday I prep for the week, so that means cutting all my vegetables and also making things that take a little bit longer. So today I'm going to make a roasted salsa and I'm also going to hard boil some eggs. So for the roasted salsa, I did preheat my Ninja Foodi on grill. So I took a bulb of garlic, cut it in half this way, and I'm going to just wrap that in some oil. And the reason I am cutting that in half is so when it's all done, I can just squeeze out the cloves really easily. So that can go into my little silicone basket, because once you have grilled all your vegetables, there's going to be a lot of juice in there, so you want to add that to your salsa as well. So it's nice to have a little basket like this. I'm going to add a whole bunch of chilies, like this. I'm also going to add some peppers. I'm using these pointy peppers. You can use a regular pepper like this, but I like using these. Then I have some shallots that I peeled, so those can go in. And on the top, I have some of these cherry tomatoes that can go in like this, and it's overflowing a bit, but that's fine. So like I said, I preheated my Ninja Foodi on the grill on 240 degrees Celsius. So now this can go in. This will take 20 to 30 minutes. I'll do 20 minutes first. And then I can see if I need to switch things around so everything, especially the peppers and the chilies, they need to blacken so they can be peeled easily. So I'll probably have to turn everything around in a bit. So while that's going, I'm gonna chop my vegetables and I am gonna go over my menu. So I'm gonna start by cutting up some onions. I have some red onions, and this one I'm going to dice up for a few things. So for the menu, it's Sunday today, and as usual I'm gonna have some sandwiches, and I'm gonna have what we call broodje gezond, which literally means a healthy sandwich. It's not particularly healthy, but I'm going to do some whole wheat bread with some ham, some cheese, some sliced hard-boiled eggs, lettuce, cucumber, mayo. I think that's it. So, but yeah, this half onion I diced up because that's going to go in my tuna salad later in the week, and the rest I'll just cut in half rings. So then we're on dinner for Sunday. I'm gonna marinate some chicken thighs, and then I'll grill them and I'll serve them in some flatbreads with lettuce, cucumber, some peppers, onions. Maybe I'll do pickled onions. Maybe I'll do some sauteed onions. I haven't fully decided yet. And I'll do like a garlic sauce to go with it. Then we're on Monday, Meatless Monday, for lunch. Well, you may have noticed that I never mentioned breakfast because I'm just not really a breakfast person, if I'm honest. So I don't usually do breakfast. If I do, it's like yogurt or something, so that does not require prepping. But yeah, for lunch on Meatless Monday, I'm going to have some low-carb crackers with some cream cheese and some chives, maybe some pickled onions, since I have some in the fridge from last week. That's another thing I should mention for people that are new here. I am diabetic, and I had to cut some carbs. So normally for lunch, I do low-carb keto-friendly. So in this case, I'm doing low-carb crackers. The only exception is on the weekend when I have my cheat days, so that's why on Sundays I have sandwiches. So, but yeah, that was lunch. Then we're on dinner for Monday. That's going to be some vegan tacos, so they're going to have some lentils, carrots, a bunch of other veggies like onions. And those are some of my favorite vegetarian/vegan meals. So Then we're on Tuesday for lunch. I'm gonna do a stir fry with some zoodles, so zucchini or courgette, depending on what region you're in. It's zucchini in the US and it's courgette basically anywhere else. So with some chicken and just a bunch of veggies. So that's my low carb option, and I'm gonna use garlic for that as well. I'm using garlic in a lot of things, so I'm just cutting up a couple of cloves, just nice and fine. And then we were on Tuesday evening for the menu. So for dinner, I'm gonna do some quesadillas with chicken and some of that roasted salsa that I'll be making in this video. And you've seen me make that salsa a lot. I really like it. So whenever tomatoes are on sale, I like making that. So, and then for Wednesday for lunch, I have some sausages and some broccolini, or broccoli rabe, again, depends on where you are. And I'm just going to saute the broccolini, and I'll probably grill the sausages with my Ninja Foodi. So, and then we're on dinner for Wednesday. I'm gonna use more of that salsa, but this time with a rice bowl with some chicken. So I'm gonna do some lime cilantro rice, and I'll marinate and grill some chicken, probably some chicken tenders. And yeah, like I said, just have that with the salsa. Maybe I'll do some corn with it or some other vegetables. So I always like having lots and lots of vegetables. So that is the garlic done. And staying in the garlic family and onion family, here I have some chives. Like I said, I want to have some chives with my cream cheese. So I'm just gonna slice that up nice and fine. And I'll just use that as a garnish. And whatever I end up not using for that, I can always throw in my tuna salad. There we go. And then also for my tuna salad, I need a little bit of celery. So I'm just using up the last of this little bunch. So we were on Thursday. On Thursday, I'm going to do some more zoodles, but this time with some bacon and some veggies. So it's going to go more in like a pasta direction, less a stir fry. Then for dinner, I'm going to do some couscous bowl with some harissa chicken. I have some harissa paste, and I'll just use whatever veggies I have left. So probably some peppers and things like that, some onions. Then on Friday, I've alluded to a few times now, I'm gonna have a tuna salad on low-carb crackers. And then for dinner, it's actually my birthday on Friday, so I think I'm gonna go out and get something to eat. I'm thinking maybe sushi, or I could do some spare ribs or something like that. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, I'm gonna have a birthday dinner. And feel free to guess how old you think I'm gonna be Friday in the comments. I can't give you a prize or anything, but you know, I'll give you something, like I'll give you a nice comment or something if you guessed it right. So I'm just cutting up some chilies for the quesadillas, for the rice bowl, for the chicken wraps, the flatbreads, the stir fries. So there's that. Then let's move on to some peppers. So I have 2 peppers. I'm gonna slice one and dice the other, and they're gonna go in again the zoodle stir fry, the flatbreads, the quesadillas, all those things. So I'll just cut this Anaheim half lengthwise and then across to make little ribbons. then this regular pepper, again, I'm going to cut it in half, scoop out the insides, and then I'll cut them into cubes by cutting them lengthwise first, and then turning 90 degrees and cutting them into cubes. Next up, we'll do some cucumbers. I have these Persian cucumbers. Those are my favorite to use because they're flavorful and they're also small, so instead of having a big one that I need to use in a bunch of things, I can just do 1 or 2 small ones. And I'm just gonna slice that up for my flatbreads tonight and for my sandwiches like I mentioned. So just make quick work of them. And next up we have some zucchini. So you can use a spiralizer, but they get quite long and unwieldy if you try to stir fry it, in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is I have my julienne slicer. I'm just going to cut the little tip off and get my julienne slicer, just julienne both of these. So that is enough for 2 meals. And then another thing I'm going to do is julienne this carrot. So I'm just going to cut the tip off. And this is going to go in my vegan lentil tacos. This is going to be like the bulk of it together with the lentils. And I'll also use some in my stir fry and in my zoodle pasta. So I'm just going to julienne this whole carrot. All right, that's that done. And then all I have left is some cilantro. I'm going to use that for my salsa and also for my lime cilantro rice. My salsa is going to go in the blender, but I always like helping things along when things go in the blender. Just sometimes it gets stuck on top of the blades and it won't move down. So I'm just going to cut both of these bunches. As always, I'm just going to save the stems because those are perfect for like a curry paste. So now I just gave everything a rough chop, and I'll just run my knife through until I am satisfied with the size. And that is all the chopping done, and we're just at 20 minutes. So now we're just going to wait until the vegetables are starting to blacken, and then I'll turn everything around and give that a little bit more. It usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes. So yeah, in the meantime, I'll put a few things away, and I'll see you right back when all of this is done. So 20 minutes have passed, so let's see. It's starting to blacken, but it's not quite there yet, so I'm just going to flip things around and give it another 10 minutes. In the meantime, I can also start making my marinating my chicken thighs for tonight. So I just have some olive oil, and right here I have some harissa spices. This is the spice mix. Add that. And since there's no salt in this mix, I'm just going to add some salt. And then I'll mix this into a nice little marinade. And I will add in my chicken thighs, and that's then ready for tonight. I can just grill them in my Ninja Foodi and slice them up for my flatbreads. So I'll just massage them in the marinade so they're completely covered. And there we go. That can just marinate for a couple of hours or overnight. And here are the veggies. As you can see, it's starting to blacken. So I'm just going to let this cool off now because I need to peel everything and it's way too hot to handle. But what I can do while I'm waiting for things to cool down is putting my basket in my Ninja Foodi. I'll add some water. And then I'll add my eggs because I'm just going to make some hard-boiled eggs in here. So I'm just doing 3. And then I'll put on the pressure lid. Change it to pressure cook. And I'm going to do, you've seen me do this I think last week as well. I'll do 5 minutes on high, then 5 minutes on natural pressure release. So after it's finished, you just leave it alone for 5 minutes, and then you release the steam, take them out, and cool them off in some water. So I'm just gonna do let that do its thing, wait for this to cool down, and then we'll be back in a moment. Oh, and if you're new to pressure cookers, set the machine to 5 minutes, because it will take a little bit longer than 5 minutes because the pressure cooker needs to come up to temperature first, and then the 5 minute starts. So just if you're using a Ninja Foodi or an Instapot or whatever, just set it to 5 minutes. Don't time 5 minutes, just let the machine do the thing. And that's the eggs done. I'll just put them in some cold water, and they can cool off before I start peeling them. While my eggs are cooling off, I can start on my salsa. So as you can see, now the skin is blackened, it comes off really easily. So I'll just take the skin off and take the seeds out, and I'll do that for both of these peppers and for my chilies. And just get most of the skin off. If there's a little stubborn bit, that doesn't really matter. And just put that all in the bowl of my blender. And then things like the tomatoes, you can just go in whole, just take them off the stem if they're still on the little branch like these were. So those can just go in. And the same goes for the shallots, just dump those right in. And also make sure that all the juices that came out go in as well, because there's lots of flavor in there. And then lastly, we have our garlic. That's nice and steamed inside the little pouch. So open that up and you can just squeeze the cloves right out. And that is exactly why we cut it in half. Then next up, add 1 bunch worth of cilantro. Add in some lime. It's 1 to 2. These are quite small limes, so I'm gonna do 2, and I'll just juice them right in here. Add some cumin, add some salt, lid on, and let's blitz this up. Let's see if that needs anything else. No, salt is just right, just the right amount of lime. So that's ready to go in a different container for the fridge. And there we go. This will last in the fridge for at least a week. So I'm just gonna finish letting this cool down. I'll put it in the fridge. And in the meantime, we have our eggs. And just to show how easy they are to peel when you make them in the pressure cooker, the peel already fell off this one as I took it out. So these just light tap, and as you can see, they peel extremely easily. And I'll just give them a quick slice to go on my sandwiches. And there we go, all done for the week. I can now have lunch or dinner on the table in minutes. And speaking of lunch and dinner, today I'm gonna start another video where I show you everything I eat in a day for the whole week. So Sunday through Friday. So if you're curious what I make with all the ingredients, you can check out that video. Or you can also check out my Instagram where I post every single meal. But yeah, if you like this, I do this every single Sunday, and like I said, once a month I do the videos where I show you everything I eat in a day. So if that sounds good to you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. Until next time, bye for now.